I want real quick on Arsenal because I don't want to go too much.
Yeah.
Keith, Arsenal fan, just what do you think? I listen to Jimmy's. I said Arteta done by Christmas. This was before the season began.
Yeah.
And now I feel like Christmas is optimistic.
Yeah, I agree. I think
is he your biggest loser? Is Arsenal your biggest loser of the weekend?
I don't think they're my biggest loser because I'm just because I expected them to lose, right? But the way in which they lost, like Jimmy said, and it was spot on, a lack of identity, right? And Arteta comes from City. He came from Arsenal before as a player, at City and their coaching staff. What City do well is press. You cannot have a single player on that team, young or old, that thinks that when the team presses, that's your chance to take a break. And it happened over and over and over again. Every time they were pressing up, literally, they casually walked past the first line of pressure, casually walked past the second line of pressure, and now they're all running 50, 60 yards back to have to get set in their lines. Even then, when they set into a deeper block, they didn't release numbers to be able to pressure with any sort of emphasis. And that's the young, especially the young guys who just look like they're uninterested in being part of the modern game, which means being able to press in good moments, win the ball when the team is unbalanced, and attack and go to goal. And that's what's going to make those players world-class players, is the ability to do that. If they don't, most of them are not good enough to do the things that they're doing over 90 minutes if they're not going to add that other element of the game. The game is fast now. The game requires the press. The gegenpress is the most popular style, whether you play some sort of version of it or not. That you do not, there's no more luxury players outside of Ronaldo or Messi where everybody's willing to do the work for them. You have to be willing as a unit collectively to do the work and know that your biggest attack nowadays is being able to win the ball higher up the field with a good press. And if they're not going to do that, I would say literally middle of the table is ambitious at this point.
Yeah. Jimmy, anything on Arsenal, Jimmy?
Come on, you Gunners.
Listen, all I would say is that I got a lot of grief after our preview that I said even prime Thierry Henry wouldn't help them beat Chelsea, and I still stand by that. I think that Chelsea did more than enough to win this game, and Henry would have maybe helped, but I don't think he would have helped them win the game. My concern actually wasn't with Xhaka or Lukanga. I think they're both fine in the middle of the field. Even the young front four, Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Odegaard will be there eventually, Aubameyang, Lacazette. Like, they've got enough guys there that I think they can find the right combination to have success, and they have some depth. It's that back line that's a hot dumpster fire, hot mess for me that needs to get sorted out. And obviously Ben White, big signing, isn't available for this game, and obviously we don't want him to be sick, and hopefully he feels better and all that. But that's why you signed the guy, was to go and match up with the Lukaku and to get a result and make it tough. And I think until they get that side of it sorted out, it's going to be really difficult, I think, for Arteta to do what he wants to do. I think philosophically, he has an idea of how he wants to play, and he doesn't have the players that can do it. And you're not going to fire 23 players. You're going to fire the coach. So I think he's going to be gone before Christmas as well.
Yeah, well, there we have it. We're gonna leave Arsenal right where they are, by the way. Okay. By the way, I did ask though, who is your weekend's biggest loser? Once again, you can pick a team, you can pick a player. If it's not Arsenal, because you expected them to win, thinking overall, it doesn't have to just be the Premier League. Who would you say is the biggest loser from the weekend? Heath Pierce,
Josh Sargent, and Norwich. That is just I might be saying that a lot this year, and I know the money's nice. And honestly, the biggest loser for me is Americans abroad over the weekend. We're heading towards a very important qualifying window with Pulisic out, McKennie's transfer in doubt, Sargent at a new club where he's not getting much time at a club that it's going to be very hard to scrap anything out. Just a little bit worrisome for me. So I'm going to go with the Americans abroad this weekend as my biggest worry and biggest loser.
There you go, Jimmy.
I'm going with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I cannot believe the lineup he rolled out against Southampton. I thought it was absolutely what? I mean, you go and
Jimmy,
you put a good
are we bringing that record again?
Yes. Put Greenwood up top. Put Greenwood up top. Leave him there. Just let him play up top.
But Jimmy, last week. Jimmy, this is something we said last season the entire time. We don't know who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. Do you stick by that right now? Because I'm going to go back.
What? I don't understand. There's a couple things. Martial starts. Can you just not bring that guy off to Heath's point? Just start Mason Greenwood. He did fine for you. Yes, I know he ended up scoring in this one anyway, but just put him up top. You know, it's where he looks more comfortable. He feels more comfortable. I feel like the players around him, Pogba was releasing him all day last week. Bruno, I don't know, it just felt a little bit different with Martial up there, and it felt like it stagnated the attack. And then you have Fred and Nemanja Matic is like our age, dude. That guy's what he should be on this podcast being, an analyst.
When he came off, I was like, oh, he was on?
What? And so you see Van de Beek on the team. He's in the bench. Like if Van de Beek can't start in this game, dude, that guy needs to go on loan or he's got to leave. I mean, if I was his agent, if I was the player, I'd be like, I can't get in over Matic. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. McTominay was on the bench. He comes on as a sub. I'm like, you're gonna chase the game with McTominay. Anyway, Jadon Sancho's on the bench, comes off. Lingard. I mean, you have these other options, and I just don't understand the starting lineups. And so they got a 1-1 result. They should have lost. De Gea made a couple good saves on Adam Armstrong very late. After Harry Maguire got real casual with the ball, and these are the games. If Manchester United or any team that's trying to compete with the big clubs that are really getting their momentum going and have a plethora of options, you have to win these games. You have to win them. And I know Man United can say, well, we still haven't lost. We're still unbeaten away from home. And yeah, you survived to get a point there, but you should have had more given the performance that you had last week and given the talent you have at your disposal.
Yeah, well, my biggest loser is a Paraguayan called Miguel Almiron because he only touched the ball like once for Newcastle. Jimmy Conrad has.
What did he think he was gonna? He would sign for Newcastle. Like, what does he expect?
Listen, by the way, because we're live taping this, Levante have taken the lead against Real Madrid. By the way, so we'll keep your eye on